Hi, how are you? It's Dr. Amuso. Today we want to talk about the Africans, how the Shona and the Ndebele reacted when they were exploited at the mines and farms that had been established by the settlers. So we are talking about the reactions that Africans responded to labor regulations, labor policies that the whites introduced during the colonial period in Southern Rhodesia. How did the Africans react? We talk about desertion. Boom, they ran away. So we talk about Africans resisted to desertion. They abandoned their work, employment without notice. Why? Because of the exploitations that were taking place. Why did they abandon? Because they were forced to work. The wages, again, they were low. So we see desertions being common in mines and farms. For example, we talk about the Bonso mine in Selukwe. We also talk about so many mines being deserted by the Africans. So we see that we also see the Africans vandalizing machines. They ran away. So machines were vandalized, and if they vandalized, they were not going to continue working. Why? Because there was no machinery. So you talk about vandalization that took place. You also talk about the issue of absenteeism. They absented themselves from what? From work at a mine. You are not going to work at a farm. You are not going to attend your duties. So we see them again doing what was called absenteeism. Then we also see that the Africans need to do what is called a go slow. Go slow, what are we talking about? Any work that was supposed to be done in 2 hours, you do slowly, but slowly, but slowly. So they work for 2 hours, you do it 8 hours. Why? It is because they were showing their resentment towards the low wages that they were being given by the settlers. So you talk about the issue of doing that. Then also talk about the issue of strikes. Some Africans, they also to strike. The Africans, they to strike. For example, talk about the 1912 strike at Wanki coal mines. So Africans, they to also striking. We see this strike taking place in Wanki in 1912. They also stole property. Some had to steal property so that they could supplement those low wages that they were given. They also talk about informal gatherings. They to gather informally and they discuss about how best they're supposed to free themselves from the exploitation that they were experiencing from our settlers. Burial and dancing societies. We see the Africans establishing burial and dancing societies to express their frustrations against the company rule. So many societies, they were formed. So when they were formed now, they had to talk about exploitation. They had to talk about what they were experiencing at their workplaces. So that on its own, it was a way of conscientizing themselves on how best they're supposed to free themselves from the exploitation of the settlers. You also talk about the formation of independent churches. Churches were formed, which talked about equality, which also talked about treating one another equally. So it's another method that also worked during this particular period of time. You also talk about issue of giving the whites nicknames. They were given nicknames. Why? They can gossip about the farm owner, the mine owner, but using a nickname. The white owner could not know that he was the person who was being talked about. You also talk about graffiti. They wrote graffiti at trees, writing about the badness or anything that was not good at a certain mine. So it was another method. Boiling of seeds. They also had to boil seeds. If you boil seeds, if you plant them now, they are not going to germinate. You also talk about that. So there are so many methods that the Africans had to use to show that they're not pleased about the exploitation that was taking place at mines and farms. And that is what we have on the resistance of labor policies that the whites had to introduce against the Africans during the colonial period. Thank you so much. It's Dr. Muso.